is going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another scape. Today we're going to be taking on this tank here. This is an 11.7 gallon, almost 12 gallons in this tank. If I'm not mistaken, the measurements are 17 and 3/4 long by 13 and a half tall by I think 11 and a half depth. This is a decent sized volume of water. I mean, this is still considered a nano tank, but yeah, I think we can actually fit a decent amount of stuff in here in terms of hardscape and a decent amount of plants. I want to have this tank just looking complete at the end of this video, so I'm gonna do my best. I actually do have a decent amount of plants, and I actually have some plants that I recently purchased that I think are gonna be great for this tank. It's plants that I've never used before, so hopefully we don't struggle too much in terms of them melting or maybe them not growing properly. But I mean, we have a decent size volume of water. We're gonna have a decent light, so I think this scape, honestly, I'm really excited for it because I have not done a scape like this before. So hopefully you guys enjoy it. I'm gonna be using a budget light. This light here is a 22 watt light, 22 watt light. It is Sea Aura. I got this off of Amazon. I've used this light before on different scapes. It's got all, you can't really see it. Maybe you can see it in the tank. No, it just looks all white. Oh, but there we go. You can see it there. It's got blues, reds, and greens. This light here is actually perfect for this tank. I love the fact that I can adjust this light. I can move this bracket up and down. But I'm probably gonna have this light at a like 50% setting, just because I know from previous scapes that I've done that setting the light at 50% power and just lowering it down just a tiny little bit typically gives me the best results. But obviously, if I see that some of the plants are not growing well, I'll probably end up, just putting it up to maybe like 60-70%. But that doesn't mean that maybe the plants will grow a little bit slower because I'm not setting it to 100%. But anyway, that's the light I'm going to be using. It's a budget light, but it's really good. And then I'm also going to be using a filter like this one. This one is really, really, it looks super dirty, but that's because there was a lot of wood in here. I removed a lot of the wood that was in here in this angel tank. It looks really poor right now. Just don't mind it. The fish are very healthy. The water is very healthy, so don't mind that. But I'm going to be using a filter similar to this one, literally exactly the same, but I have another one that I have just laying around. So I'm going to be using, this is a 10-gallon or a max 10-gallon filter. It will be perfect for this tank because there's not going to be, obviously, full 12 gallons of water going in here with the rock and the hardscape that I'm going to be using. Obviously, that takes up space. So it's going to end up being more like a 10-gallon tank. So it'll be perfect for this tank. All right, now, maybe you guys do remember or don't remember, but this is the previous tank I did. I currently have a lot of tripartita in here. I put that in here because I wanted the shrimp to clean up the tripartita. I had a little bit of algae, and some of the leaves, were a little like they were melting. They were dying off. So I put it in here. Shrimp do a great job of cleaning up plants. Especially, I have like 15-20 shrimp in here. But what I was gonna get to is this gravel here. Now, I was gonna use this gravel on this new tank over here, but I mean, I'm gonna use it, but I'm gonna kind of switch it up a bit. So what I actually decided to do is kind of mix up that gravel with sand, just because I didn't want to have two tanks that have the same sand or the same gravel right next to each other. I feel like it would look a little, I don't know. It just, I wouldn't like looking at both the tanks and they look exactly the same, at least in terms of the like the foreground or whatever substrate is in there. We're gonna start off first by putting a bottom layer here. So I'm not gonna use sand. I don't really have any sand available right now, so I'm gonna use aqua soil. And that's good though, because some of that aqua soil is gonna come forward. You're not gonna see the aqua soil in the front, but it is gonna come forward a little bit so that I'm able to plant into the sand, and I'm able to, get plants to grow in the foreground. And again, I'm going to be using the Flu Ball Stratum. I did mix this up a little bit with another type of aqua soil. It's kind of, I'm not going to say off-brand, but it is the brand of the store where I bought it from. It's called Imagitarium. If you guys live in America, or I don't know what other country, maybe Canada has Petco, but I got it at Petco. It's called Imagitarium, and it's the brand that they sell, so it's their brand. The reason why I do this, one, is because I'm gonna be putting rocks in here. and I don't want the rocks ever like directly on the glass. You can, there's nothing wrong with it, but I just don't like it. I'd rather not risk it. Even though there's foam down below, I don't like putting rocks in here just because you never know, right? Why risk it if you're able to put like a bottom layer? It doesn't have to be aqua soil, it could be sand or even gravel. Just go ahead and do it. That way you don't risk, the rocks possibly cracking the glass. All right, now we can start adding the hardscape. I'm gonna start by selecting a couple of rocks here. The way I like to do this, typically, I like to set like a bigger stone in the tank first, and then just kind of work my way from there. Let's go ahead and set it there. That's a really nice rock. Then from there, we can kind of build off of that and use smaller rocks. I would say the hardest part about aquascaping is like getting your hardscape right. It can be very tricky at times because you try to make it look as best as possible, but sometimes it just doesn't seem to be coming together. So it's okay to move things around. It's okay to just not be satisfied right away with what you put down. Just kind of move it around. Like right now, I'm not happy with the way this rock looks here, so I'm just gonna go ahead and move it over towards this side, and then from there, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and put some wood in there and then go from there. Right, so I have a couple of pieces of wood, like I already mentioned. I have this one here. I kind of want this one to be up, not up, but I want it to be like here. Then I have this other piece of wood that can go. This is kind of how like I pictured it in my head. That can go like here. Okay. I like that. That looks really good. That looks nice. I just have to make sure that I'm able to build a barrier around here just so that I'm able to, kind of I say try, contain the aqua soil from moving forward into the sand. It's not gonna happen. Somehow, one way or another, that aqua soil is gonna end up in the sand. But I'm gonna try to minimize it as much as I can. All right, guys, so I went ahead and, messed around with it a little bit. I have enough space here on the sides, on the glass, to be able to clean the sides as well as on this side. The rock formation, it looks good. All of this aqua soil here is going to end up being covered by gravel. It's going to be gravel and just going to kind of patch up like a lot of these holes here, like for example, this area. The aqua soil kind of seeps through there. On this side, I think we're good, but I'm still going to end up putting gravel here on this whole bottom section. And then I'm going to go ahead and put sand over it. But quite honestly, I feel like it looks great. I'll give you an overview of it. There's more than enough space to plant. Obviously back here, there's going to be stems, along the back here. And I have some really nice foreground plants that are going to go in this middle section. Yeah, I have more than enough plants that are gonna make this tank look amazing, and I'll probably just plant everything and just kind of do like a little montage of it, just so that I don't have to, because it's gonna take me a while to get everything prepared and all that. So I'll make sure I put all the names of the plants as I'm planting. I'll go ahead and put the name on there. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and get started with the planting. I have a lot of plants to go through, so just bear with me. But all I can tell you is that by the end of the planting, this tank is gonna look amazing. right, guys, so we are all planted. I gotta say, there's a lot of plants in here, and this is exactly how I like to start my tanks. I've learned from watching other people and from experience that when you first start a tank, the more plants you have, the better chances that you don't get any algae. Obviously, you still will get algae because the substrate carries a lot of nutrients and stuff. Um, but with a lot of plants at the very beginning, you kind of minimize that. So I love the fact that I have so many plants in here. I'm surprised I was able to fit so much in here due to the fact that it is a small tank. It looks way bigger on camera, but trust me, after putting in all those rocks and putting in the wood, the tank is, the amount of space has been minimized. But we were still able to put in all the plants that I wanted. I wanted to put more, but I was like, you know what, let me just leave it at that. And I think honestly, I think it looks great. Now it's just a matter of filling it up and then adding the equipment, which is basically just the filter now, because I'm not going to put anything like a heater in here or anything, because it's summertime here in California and it gets really hot, so there's no need for a filter now. Maybe if this tank is still up by, I don't know, November, December, then I'll put a heater in here. But for now, let's just go ahead and fill it up, and then I'll come back once it's been running for a day or two. All right, guys, so we are gonna be adding the fish now to the tank. I'm gonna do this very quickly because the fish are going crazy. Actually, some of them jumped out of the container where I put them in. So I'm gonna do this as quickly as I can, get them in there, and then I'll kind of talk about the fish a little bit. So here they go. Come on, guys. All right, guys, so here is the tank after adding the fish. I'm kind of, first showing you what it looks like from a bit of a distance, because for some reason, I record all my videos on my iPhone. It is 4K, but for some reason, the closer I get, the grainier it looks. So I kind of just want a shot from this distance. But fish are doing great. I added them a few hours ago, and they've colored up already. They're swimming all over the place, so they're doing good. One thing I did want to mention is I did not expect this light to make. I mean, in the camera you can't really see it like in person, but this this rotala is really red. I don't remember this light making the reds pop that much. I know the greens for sure. They look really good on camera and in person. But yeah, it looks really nice. As well as the limnophila. The limnophila, this is my first time ever using this plant. I've heard a lot of things about it. A lot of people use this plant. It's a very nice stem plant, but it grows really fast. Honestly, I think in like almost what a little bit over a week, it's grown about almost 3 inches. Crazy. This isn't like the highest quality, LED light, and it's not the strongest. So Limnophila just grows really well. One thing I also wanted to point out is the CO2. I run DIY CO2 on all my tanks. Um, a small tank like this obviously doesn't need me to run CO2 for a very long time. Usually I would have the like the CO2 checker, it comes with the liquid, and it starts off blue, and then once the CO2 is kind of dissolved into the tank, it starts turning like green, right? Um, I haven't bought one, but I'm gonna get one for this tank. But I've been running DIY CO2 for a while in my tank, so I kind of know how long I need to leave it in here. So this probably won't be in here for more than 2 3 hours, depending on how well the CO2 is dissolving into the water. But yeah, honestly, I'm very happy with this scape. All right, guys. Well, that's this scape completed. It turned out better than I imagined it. I feel like I've said this before. A lot of the time, at least for myself, I'll think of something like a scape that I want to do, and I'll have an image in my head. And a lot of the time, I'm a little bit scared or a little bit concerned that it's not going to turn out like the vision that I have in my head. But this tank in particular turned out way better than I had imagined it. Honestly, I mean, it's not the first time I do a triangulate composition. I've done it a couple of times on camera and off camera. But I gotta say, this tank, I don't know if it's the way I put the hardscape in or if it's the plants. It's probably a combination of everything, but this tank turned out like literally, honestly, 10 times better than I had imagined it. So maybe that'll be a little bit of inspiration to some of you guys that maybe are a little bit iffy starting your aquascape, or maybe if you have been aquascaping for a while and you wanted to try something different and you're a little bit iffy, you're a little bit scared because you don't know how it's going to turn out. Just do it. Honestly, just do it. Either it turns out well, it turns out how exactly how you imagined it. Maybe it goes it goes sideways. You never know, but it could also turn out way better than you envisioned it. And that's what happened for me, so I'm very happy with this skate. But anyway, guys, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hopefully you're enjoying my content. If you're somebody who's consistently coming back, and even if you're somebody new, hopefully you enjoyed this build. We're going to continue and try to make better and different builds every single time I upload a video. But regardless, guys, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new around here. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video. And yeah, maybe leave some comments down below. I'd love to interact with you guys. But other than that, guys, thank you so much for watching again, and I'll see you on the next skate.